Well, welcome to this week's intuitive card reading, and this card reading is for the week April the 13th to the 19th. And I thought the theme of this card reading this week could be all about the heart chakra. So, in my seven chakra voices journey, where we visit and talk to each chakra, um, voice to see what it needs, what needs healing, what needs activating. We're this week we have been visiting the heart chakra, so I thought it's a nice one to choose for everybody. And we're going to particularly be looking at what is blocking, perhaps, our heart chakra, so that we can open up um, those emotional powers. We can start to kind of release any blocks and see how we can develop or create those emotional ties to people, whether it's in love or friendship or business, whatever it is, all to do with reconnecting in with what our heart wants. So I have chosen to go with the guides of the hidden realms for the card pulls, and then at the end I am calling in um a bit of guidance from the angels with the angel therapy cards. So the first card, which is all about what's actually opening in our hearts right now. What is it that we could focus on? Because that little seed is there and it's starting to open. And we've got what is holy, what is true. And it says appreciation, witnessing the unmerited gift of grace. And I think this card is saying that there is something there. There is um perhaps we are starting to appreciate an aspect of our life or a person, and we're giving that the grace, the we're giving that the kind of the opportunity. We're going to go with it and see what happens. And sometimes we can be quite guarded with things like that, so we can have these little sparks of ideas, feelings about something, and then we can automatically, to protect ourselves, block it and not follow through and not see where it leads. But I think the cards are telling us we have something there. So perhaps something has come in to your thoughts. You've noticed that you're reacting in a certain way to particular situations, and whereas you might have previously blocked that and just dismissed it, I think the message is that you go with it and see where it leads, see where that thing might lead, um, so that you can see what happens really and open up to that. So maybe look out for things that are coming in and going. So it could be through dreams even. It could be through just thought patterns during the day, things you're noticing. Um, little signs that you're getting that something is there and it's calling for you to sort of witness it, to acknowledge it, to say, right, yeah, there's that, and I'm going to follow and see what happens with that. So the next card is what's blocking and protecting my heart. So we've perhaps got something there that keeps sort of nudging at us, but our heart chakra is kind of protecting us and stopping us from acting on it or blocking us. I don't know about my heart, my throat chakra needs a bit of work today. So death reclaims a life. So in traditional tarot, the death card sort of means the end of something and the start of something. And on in this pack of oracle cards, it's a similar thing. So it's about letting go. It's about um, the sacred quality of death, of mourning something properly, but then moving on from it. And all about natural endings and grief. So perhaps the thing in our hearts that is stopping us are that our previous experiences of loss of um ourselves in that situation, not necessarily a physical loss of a person, but maybe we're trying to protect the fact that we're not going to follow that little inkling, that nudge, because look what happened in the past, look at what that cost me, look at what I missed out on. So I think this card is saying appreciate that, but we have to let go. We have to, it's telling us that this protection that we keep putting ourselves through, especially with our heart chakra, we need to sort of give whatever happened the appreciation, the acknowledgement that it perhaps was a loss that was hurtful or devastating, or it changed the way you thought about everything. But then we have to let go of that and move on from it. So we have to give it its honor, but then we have to move on from it so that we can reclaim life. So it's death reclaims life. So we put that thing, that situation, that feeling, that moment to bed, and then we get an, on and reclaim our life and move forward with whatever it is that is the thing that our heart wants or our logic wants and our heart is blocking us from. So try to not fall back into those patterns again of how it went wrong, how that happened. Sort of appreciate that did happen, but this is the new now. We're starting to reclaim the life of something new. And the third card, to do with the heart blockage, is how can I open and align my heart moving forward? So we've got this and that are true. So it says open-mindedness, perspective, nuance, and complexity. And it's that getting that balance and actually acknowledging that two things can be true at the same time. Um, we could have felt one way, but we could also feel a different way at the same time. We are allowed to have that capacity to feel both things, for two things to happen at the same time. One that might be hurtful or have caused us hurt or harm, but at the same time um, we might have actually received some joy from that or some happiness from that. So as we're moving forward, how we can open and align our hearts is all about having that balanced perspective that yes, some things may not go well, things may not have gone well in the past in that regard, but it can go well in the future because it is that new life, that new start, and to appreciate those two things. So it is almost like that duality of our thought process and our feelings that we have as humans, where we're very often kind of stuck in a flux because we appreciate that um, there are two sides to everything, and that's where we sometimes get stuck because we feel like we can't have both at the same time. We can't be feeling that way and that way, but we absolutely can, and it's how we move on and move in one of those directions if we so choose. Which direction do I choose? Which way do I want to go? How do I want the outcome to be? So this card's just reminding us to appreciate that and be open-minded. So especially the message from all three cards is yes, there is something there. We're perhaps protecting ourselves because of things that have happened, um, that may have caused may have caused that spark in the past to sort of die because we were afraid of moving forward with it. But to actually appreciate that, yes, both those things can happen, but there's always something new to come. So I think they're quite um, subtle messages this week, but they are all interlinked, um, and are a real true reflection of how we can feel emotionally about things. So I've also picked a fourth card, which is sort of a divine guidance. I've chosen the Angel Therapy Oracle cards, and just for some guidance from above to see if we can see how we could maybe do this, what's going to help us. And it's cut your cords. And this is a message from Archangel Michael, to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships. And also it will free you from destructive patterns. Absolutely perfect. It amazes me on a weekly basis how the cards come out, but it shouldn't do because we're being guided um, from above, from spirit, into thinking about these things so we can move ourselves forward, so we can elevate, so that we can open up our lives to more. So yeah, the message is that Archangel Michael is here and he's got his angelic sword cutting those cord attachments to those things that are holding us back. So what you could do with this is take a few moments to sit quietly, um, make sure you're not going to be disturbed, close your eyes, and just bring into your mind those things that you are perhaps afraid of happening again, those things that happened and had um, that negative influence on you that made you feel a certain way that you don't want to feel again. So just bring them all to mind. And when you've got them there and you know, feel if they're actually attached to a part of your body. So if you feel if when you think of a certain situation, if you feel it in a certain part of your body, so if it's your throat that goes tighter, if it's a kind of a heaviness in your chest, if it's like a fluttering in your stomach, really attach that physical feeling to that thing, that situation that you are thinking of. And then you're going to um, visualize, see, know that you have got a cord um, coming from that part of your body to that thing. And once you have got that picture or that knowing in your head, you just then need to come and physically cut, and you might actually physically pull them, or if you've got like spiritual scissors, and actually cut them. Actually do visualize yourself cutting those cords that are attaching these limiting feelings and these subconscious patterns to you. Actually cut them. And when you cut them, you will see sparkles of gold or silver coming from both ends of that cord and then dissipating out. And they're going back into the universe, back as energy, back to the light to be reused, used again, but they're cutting that thing away from you. So you are not wasting anything, you're not stopping anything. The energy is going to be reused, but you're just going to get that attachment from you so that it's no longer holding you back. So just stay in that state, calm, thinking, visualizing, and just cut all of those cords, watch that energy spread back out again, but totally come away from you. And then just imagine that you're pouring some beautiful healing energy into any of those points where you've separated those cords from your physical body, and just spend a few moments pouring that healing energy, calling it down from source back into those points until you are happy that they are completely full and sealed, and then just return back to the room. And the benefits of actually naming those cords and what you are attached to that you don't want to be attached to anymore, and then going through the process of cutting them can be really freeing, and it can actually change and give a different perspective to your subconscious. And it might be that you might need to separate that out and do a few different ones on different occasions if it's too much emotionally for you. And that's perfectly fine. It's just a suggestion that you could do over this week. If something's coming, you think, oh yeah, that actually I do still keep doing that. I'm allowing that to hold me back. Maybe have a go at cutting that cord during some quiet meditation time and see how you feel after that. So, as always, take what you can and leave what does not resonate with you. Please do leave messages in the comments if any of the cards in particular resonated, or you have used this process and you felt a lot better. And I will see you next time.